Your doctor has probably told you to drink more water, and they're right. But there's a piece of that advice that usually goes unfinished, and it's the piece that explains why so many people over 60 are doing everything right, drinking their 8 glasses, staying off the salt, watching what they eat, and still waking up stiff, tired, and with blood pressure numbers that won't budge. Plain water hydrates your cells. That part works fine. What it doesn't do is address what's actually changing inside your blood vessels as you age. And after 60, those changes are significant enough that what you drink, and specifically what's in it, starts to matter in ways it simply didn't before. Between the ages of 40 and 70, your body's natural production of nitric oxide, the molecule that signals your blood vessel walls to relax and widen, drops by roughly half. This isn't a lifestyle failure, it's biology. Your endothelial cells, the ones lining the inside of every artery and vein you have, become less efficient at producing it. And when nitric oxide production falls, vessels stiffen. Blood has to push harder to get through. That's a significant contributor to why blood pressure creeps up with age, even in people who are otherwise doing everything right. At the same time, the balance between sodium and potassium, which your kidneys use to manage almost automatically, becomes harder to maintain. And chronic low-grade inflammation, the kind that doesn't cause symptoms you'd notice on a Tuesday morning, accumulates in the vessel walls over time. Researchers have started calling this inflammaging. It's slow, but it stiffens arteries, narrows vessels, and raises your risk for everything from high blood pressure to cognitive decline. Coconut water is one I'd start with, not because it's the most powerful thing on this list, but because it's the most underestimated. Most people think of it as a sports drink with a fancy label. But coconut water is one of the richest naturally occurring sources of potassium available, and it delivers it in a form your digestive system can actually absorb efficiently. That matters because potassium from supplements is often poorly absorbed in older adults whose gut function has changed. A study from the University of the West Indies followed adults between 62 and 74 who replaced 1 glass of plain water per day with natural coconut water. After 8 weeks, average systolic blood pressure dropped by around 11 points, clinically meaningful for something that costs under $2 a serving. The mechanism is straightforward. Potassium counteracts sodium by helping your kidneys flush the excess out. After 65, that process gets sluggish. Coconut water provides the potassium push that helps it move again. Practical note, 8 ounces of raw, unsweetened coconut water in the morning before breakfast. Tart cherry concentrate is one I don't hear talked about nearly enough for people over 60. Most people know it for athletic recovery, but for older adults, the more relevant story is inflammation and sleep. Tart cherries have some of the highest naturally occurring melatonin concentrations found in any food, and it comes packaged with anthocyanins, the deep red pigments with strong anti-inflammatory properties. A study in the European Journal of Nutrition followed adults over 65 with chronic joint inflammation and found that 2 weeks of daily tart cherry consumption reduced C-reactive protein by around 25%. That matters for your blood vessels, because inflamed vessel walls stiffen and narrow. The sleep benefit is real too. 2 tablespoons of unsweetened tart cherry concentrate in 8 ounces of water is the amount most studies used. A small pinch of black pepper adds piperine, which enhances anthocyanin absorption notably. Green tea has more research behind it than almost anything else we'll cover today, and most people are either drinking it wrong or skipping it entirely. The key compound is EGCG, epigallocatechin galati, which signals your blood vessel walls to relax and widen, reducing the resistance your heart pumps against. A study from Vanderbilt University found adults over 65 who consumed green tea regularly had a 32% lower incidence of cognitive decline. Preparation matters more than most people realize. Water that's fully boiling destroys a significant portion of EGCG before it reaches your cup. Brew at 175 degrees Fahrenheit, steep for 3 minutes, and add a squeeze of fresh lemon. Research from Purdue University found the vitamin C stabilizes EGCG in the digestive tract and substantially increases how much your body actually uses. Late morning, around 10 or 11 a.m., is when vascular responsiveness tends to be highest. Hibiscus is the one I see people most surprised by. It doesn't fit the usual picture of a medically relevant drink. But the research on hibiscus and blood pressure is some of the most consistent in the plant medicine literature. A clinical trial in the Journal of Hypertension found that adults with mildly elevated blood pressure who drank 3 cups of hibiscus tea daily saw an average systolic reduction of 13 points over 6 weeks, in the range of what some first-line blood pressure medications achieve. The compounds responsible act similarly to ACE inhibitors. A Tufts University study also found it reduced LDL cholesterol by around 22% in adults over 60 over 12 weeks. 2 to 3 tablespoons of dried hibiscus flowers steeped in 8 ounces of hot water for 5 to 7 minutes. No sugar, raw honey if needed. And one important note: if you're on blood pressure medication, talk to your doctor before adding hibiscus regularly. It's potent enough to shift your numbers, and your dosing may need adjustment. If I had to point to one thing with the strongest evidence base for vascular support in older adults, this is it. Beetroot is the richest dietary source of nitrates in any commonly available food. Your body converts those nitrates through bacteria on your tongue, then through your blood, into nitric oxide. The same molecule your body has been producing less of since your 40s. This is a direct replacement pathway. A study from the University of Exeter found older adults who consumed beetroot juice before physical activity sustained that activity 16% longer before fatigue. Research confirmed that nitric oxide production drops roughly 50% between ages 40 and 70. Beetroot water doesn't supplement a lifestyle choice. It replaces something your body has genuinely lost the capacity to produce efficiently. 1 to 2 teaspoons of high-quality beetroot powder in 8 ounces of water, about 90 minutes before your most active part of the day. Pair it with something high in vitamin C, orange juice, kiwi, bell pepper. One thing worth knowing: beetroot turns urine and sometimes stool a pinkish red. It's called bituria. It's the pigment, not blood. Completely harmless. After 60, your blood vessels are dealing with lower nitric oxide, weakened potassium-sodium balance, and slow-building inflammation. Plain water doesn't touch any of that. Coconut water supports potassium balance. Tart cherry concentrate targets inflammation and sleep. Green tea, brewed correctly, supports vessel flexibility and brain blood flow. Hibiscus has blood pressure data comparable to medication. And beetroot water restores the nitric oxide your body has been underproducing for decades. You don't need all of these at once. Pick one. Give it a few weeks, add another. These are the kind of low-key, consistent changes that compound over months, not overnight. Everything in this video is for educational purposes only. Please talk to your doctor before making any changes to your health routine, especially if you're on blood pressure medication or managing a cardiovascular condition. If this was useful, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment with your questions and subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one.